I will say too, TikTok Shop is really beyond the affiliate. It has a lot to do with like your ad spend. Are you doing lives? Are you posting your own shoppable content on your own TikTok feed? So it's interesting because it's almost like its own little ecosystem that requires you to do like 10, 15 different things that require different skill sets for different teams. So I think it's important not only to consider it as part of your influencer strategy, but it's also like one more step further. It's much more than just a partnership or whitelisting. It goes way, way beyond that. So I think it's really interesting to look at it from like a whole ecosystem perspective instead of just your affiliate relationship.
All right, well, we can start with intros super quick. My name is Noah. I'm the founder of a company called Social Snowball, which is an affiliate platform for D2C brands, where we help you partner with creators and influencers as affiliates. So think of, traditional affiliates are publishers, listicles, review sites. We help you partner with influencers, ambassadors, and even your own customers in a true performance partnership. And I'm here with Andrew and Lauren. I'll let you guys introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Lauren Bonfig. I'm the Senior Director of Partnerships and Social Commerce at Divvy. We're a hair health brand all about scalp health and hair care and putting yourself first.
And I'm Andrew Silberstein. I'm the CEO and co-founder of SoloWave. We're a omni-channel but digitally native skincare company focused on light therapy and innovative technology for at-home skin.
Beautiful. Yeah, these are two of the best operators and influencer I know, genuinely. So the fact that you guys are joining me on stage, thank you very much.
Thanks.
So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, I think it's like super interesting because the influencer world is pivoting a lot right now, right? Historically, influencer partnerships were very much you pay and you get deliverables. You pay for a post, you pay for content, and that's the extent of what an influencer partnership would get you. But today, it's different, right? We have TikTok Shop and a lot of things are changing, and now influencer partnerships are a little bit more performance-based. It's a little bit more affiliate-based, and it's just a huge shift that we're seeing happening. It's not just I pay you and you give me something, it's you're in a long-term partnership with me and you get some of the upside of the revenue that you bring to me. So I just wanted to ask both of you guys, like with this shift, what have you guys been seeing in your day-to-day with influencer partnerships, and how do you imagine that this is gonna continue to shift over the next 3-5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I can go first. So as a influencer-founded brand at Divvy, we kind of have a unique perspective. Our founder, she's really big on Instagram. That's always kind of been our home, our cathedral, where we feel the most comfortable. And I'll say that's typically like a paid-to-play space as it relates to influencer. And recently, we've been really diving deep into TikTok Shop, where it's completely different. The affiliates in that space, a lot of them are stay-at-home moms, and they're doing this for extra cash on the side. We have an affiliate named Shirley, and over the past 2 weeks, she's generated, I think, over 30K in GMV, and she's got 2K followers, and she's in her bedroom, and she's like, I've never done this before, but I just really like this product. And what's interesting is these smaller creators who are so new to the game are able to make such an impact on this platform and get momentum and get views and get traction where, some of the other platforms now are so saturated, it's so hard to break through. So it's really cool to see all these up and coming creators who wouldn't even call themselves a creator. They're just like, this is my hustle, this is my side hustle, and trying to figure out how you can best support them as a brand as they continue to grow. At the same time, the brands, myself, I'm learning this day in and day out. It's so new. The rules change every single day, every single week. Actually, Shirley, I don't even think was qualified to be an affiliate until like last week. So it's very, very interesting, and it's very exciting because I do think that's the way just e-commerce in general is starting to shift, so it's fun to kind of be on the cusp of that. But I will say it's very much a roller coaster ride and very, very much unpredictable, which is kind of new. I think as an operator and a marketer, you typically know what levers do what. This is just like every day I wake up to something brand new. It's a thrill.
I think to echo that sentiment, I think it's the entire industry has been upended by these new platforms, but also advertising being so much less effective. We started our business, we self-funded it. It was my first company where we didn't raise capital. And so we always kind of eschewed expensive influencer deals because we didn't really have the cash or the confidence to invest. And I think what's so cool is, to your point, there's people with 1,000 followers, 2,000 that have so much more impact than a 50 or 100K post from a top celebrity. The authenticity is amazing, and I think it's really connecting with people. And it's been amazing to have Social Snowball to really have the best interface for these creators to come to, because previously we would gift a lot of product and we'd have a lot of people asked to join an affiliate program, and we would send them into our Pepper Jam kind of old school platform, which is really meant for publishers, not creators. And they would get so confused and overwhelmed and lost, and we would lose them. And I think Social Snowball, given all the integrations too, allows us to continue to kind of maintain those relationships and continue to nurture them. Because to your point, it's changing from one-off posts to really an ongoing relationship, and I think that's so important. And you asked about where it's going. I think one thing I was just thinking about recently is because of the fact that there's so many people that are authentic and new to these platforms, I think we're going to go through another one of those shifts of identifying the importance of authenticity and really people doing their research on the products they're promoting. I think TikTok Shop's been so exciting, and it's also very exciting for people that they can post a video and potentially go viral. But with that comes a lot of stuff that maybe consumers can't trust, or maybe the influencer, they're trusting that creator, but they themselves haven't had the time to really understand the product. And so there's a lot of pressure on TikTok Shops. I don't know if you've seen this, where, I don't know if you guys do this. We take a little bit more of a backseat, but some brands are like hammering you daily to post. And so it puts this pressure on like quick output. And so I think similar to when influencer marketing first took off, and there was this understanding that you can't just believe what every influencer says. I think we're going to go through that cycle again with these more, content creator first creators that don't necessarily have massive followings.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think with that, like, I feel like a lot of people focus really, in the influencer world, focus really hard on influencer sourcing and influencer discovery. How do I find great influencers, which is super important, and you guys definitely have killer strategies for that. But what's not talked about that much is influencer retention. Because now that the partnership is shifting into the direction that you guys are talking about, and it's more long-term and more mutually beneficial, it's really important that you retain these influencers after you acquire them. So I'm curious to hear from both of you, like, how, and I know we talked about like there's different email strategies and there's a lot of different ways to do it, but how have you guys been able to actually retain these influencers for your brand long-term after you acquire them initially?
Yeah, I mean, Social Snowball has been great because you guys are integrated with Klaviyo and things like that. So we have flows set up that help not only welcome an affiliate, educate them on our brand, educate them on what good content looks like. They get their welcome gift. They're also incentivized with different tiers throughout the process based on how much they're earning. I'm also able to send like a one-off campaign if we have a promo or a product launching. And it's super easy. It's like no different than sending an email to our regular list. And then at the same time, I have all of their information. So when I want to one-off someone because I know that they have, a special story to tell or an occasion coming up, like I can directly email them from the brand and really nurture that relationship one-on-one. So through the system, super, super easy. So thanks, Noah. We also sometimes will take things offline and do chat groups, Slack groups, things like that for quicker communication. But that email is really, really clutch for just like mass herding of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the key thing is showing up where they are most likely to listen to you or hear from you. So I think one of the challenges with TikTok Shop and the rise of all these bots that people are using is people are getting spammed with thousands of desperate brands all over the world with all sorts of products and very little curation, which I think is why TikTok tried really preventing that early on. And so I think we similarly love the Klaviyo integration, and I think that's great. And we get the data of who opened the email and did they click on anything, and if not, we can follow up with a text or other channels. What we've now added on is an amazing company we started using a couple months ago called Nectar AI, which I strongly recommend looking into as a way to connect your creator program and your DMs. And it's basically a Klaviyo, but for social. And so essentially what we found is a lot of times going into the DMs is going to get a much better response rate than an email, and doing what you can to get them to essentially, we leverage Nectar to get them to opt into those DMs so that they're receiving the information and responding. And then I think it's really the human touch. I think because of the scale of these platforms, I was just reading, someone did an analysis yesterday that the average TikTok shop will generate about $130 per video, and therefore to do $1 million a year, it's like thousands of pieces of content. And so that makes it really challenging to have these personal relationships. So I think it's really finding your key creators, sending them, IRL gifts, inviting them to events. And the last thing we've gotten feedback too is sharing back data with them. Like, what did we see work, or what are we seeing working from other creators? Because back in the day with our pre-Social Snowball days, we'd send stuff out to creators, they'd sign up for affiliate. If it wasn't effective, we'd never hear from them again. And they might either have moved on to another product or been maybe even embarrassed that they couldn't drive traffic. And they all want, not everyone, but a lot of them want feedback on what else is working, what hooks are working, what length of video, what product should I talk about? So it's really having the two-way communication wherever they're active.
I like to call it like a live briefing session. Like I just had one earlier today. Instead of just sending across like a Word document or a PowerPoint, we got on a call and we like tossed around a couple ideas. Here's what works, here's what doesn't. They have so many ideas. Like I feel like it's much more of a collaborative experience. at this stage of the game, which is really nice.
I think it's super critical because we put together these briefs and some people really want them and some people get them and no matter what we say, they think we're demanding that they say exactly these things. And so we've had some people get very frustrated that they're getting like a 75-page
100%.
PowerPoint. We're just trying to give them ideas.
Exactly, and I always say, like, you're the expert, I want to hear from you. Like, even today I was thinking, oh, you know, it might be nice for you to demonstrate something on your hair. And she's like, actually, I've got extra extensions. I'm just going to whip those out and put the product on one and not on the other. And I was like, great, I would have never thought of that. This is why we're on the phone, right? So
and she probably loved talking to you about
exactly.
that.
It sounds so simple, but it really does come back to that one-on-one with the affiliates that you're really trying to nurture.
How many creators will join that call, and how often do you do them?
I mean, right now it's like selective, probably like 10, 15 a month,
Okay.
but we're still so new. We're like month 3 on TikTok Shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So something else you guys are talking about is how it's like the smallest creator that usually like just surprises you. And I think like another trend I'm seeing is the criteria for what an individual needs to be an affiliate is just like basically nothing now. Anyone can be an affiliate. So a strategy that I've seen both of you guys execute really well is turning customers into affiliates. And so I was hoping you guys could share a little bit about that strategy as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the main reason why we went to Social Snowball in the first place. We were seeing from our post-purchase surveys that a really, really major source of traffic for us was just word of mouth and recommendations from family and friends. I think it's because our products are so personal. Like if you're experiencing hair thinning or hair loss, you're gonna wanna hear it from like a trusted source and no better person than a friend or family. So I always saw that the opportunity was there. I just needed someone to help me kind of pour gas on the fire, which is why we came to Social Snowball in the first place. And we've had a really great success. I think the most important thing to note is in July, we did like an incentive with all of our customers who are now affiliates. And we had said, hey, like whoever sells the most months of July gets this like prize bag, you get a vacation. We kind of treated them like influencers in a bigger way than we have before outside of just the standard commission. And we 4X'd the performance in the program from the month prior. So definitely really worked adding in special incentives. And then we like took the winners on like a little trip. We shouted them out on our social media. And they really are just our customers. So it was really special and I think super effective. And we're looking at doing that now like throughout the year and pulsing it in a calendar to really make sure we're nurturing the program and not just kind of like letting it live.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite example we've had is a customer in her late 60s that would never think, probably didn't know what an affiliate was, and it would never say that she's a creator, but happened to send us a video that at the time, this is pre-Social Snowball, but she, my co-founder saw it and felt like this is brilliant. We need to run this as an ad. To me, I actually thought it would totally flop. It rambled on for 3 minutes. It was like a very long-winded personal tale of why she loves the product. And what ended up happening was that video through Whitelisting drove $7 million of revenue over 2 years. It continues to run. And I think the point is really, in that case, it was storytelling. Personal storytelling for us works really well. And to your point, what better person to tell that story than your customer that actually has been using this product and loving it for a while and can talk to her motivation for buying or what skepticism and objections she had versus an influencer or a traditional like a paid creator that is whipping through content super quickly. And a lot of people can tell when like they literally open it out of the box 5 minutes ago and they're trying to speak authentically. So I think the authenticity is so important. And then beyond that, it's like to that same point of why that person would never think of themselves as a creator or an affiliate. It's like we're still learning. It's what language you use to really activate your customers. Because yes, some of them would be excited to refer and earn. Some will be excited to earn a commission. But especially with our demos, some of which are above the age of 40, a lot of them are not thinking of themselves as like true influencers. And that's not really what they are looking to do. If you frame it more as like, come to us, share your story, help inspire others, that gets them really excited. And in some cases, the financial incentives are great. In other cases, I can't tell you how many people are excited that they come to us and they're like, oh my God, I got 500,000 views on this video. And like, that's really rewarding and exciting to them because they would never think of themselves as someone that so many people were compelled to listen to their story and engage.
That's awesome. And these are customers. Like these are people that you didn't even have to find, you didn't have to reach out to. They found you, they made a purchase from you, and they're doing this on top of that, which is just crazy, which also shows that you guys have built really incredible brands.
Thank you. Tried.
So I think a lot of brands also like that do have influencer programs. Maybe some of the brands here are already partnering with influencers. A really common issue is fraud and particularly codes leaking to coupon sites and honey. It can create this attribution disaster of overpaid commissions and then reconciliation with the affiliate. It can be a nightmare. So I just know you guys have both dealt with this and it's not really an issue anymore. So I just wanted to see if you guys could touch on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we use safe links through Social Snowball, so that's helped a lot. We actually have like a separate affiliate program just for our hairstylists that's run through a different program. And we're constantly catching code leaks like every single day, every single week, and it's always an issue to be like, hey, we have to deactivate your code. So it's kind of cool to have like the direct comparison, so we don't really have that problem often at all with our customers. So it's been really helpful for us, especially as we scale. It's always been top of mind, and it's not like everyone has time just to sit on, coupon sites all day to spy and catch people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a hot topic for the last couple of years at our company. We've had podcasts we've run that were a flop, and then we start seeing a huge pickup 2 months later, and we're like ringing the celebration bell that we made a smart investment, and then we find out it's because it leaked to some sketchy coupon site.
Yeah.
That's
the worst.
And back to not investing further into podcasts. Not to call out podcasts, that's just an example. But we've seen so much code leakage. We use all sorts of tools to track it. And that's why it's still been hard to get everyone on our team to get excited about affiliate. That being said, with the safe links feature of Social Snowball, it's really prevented these codes from leaking.
Can you explain what the safe links is?
Yeah, so to explain, basically, thanks to Honey and Rakuten and all these plugins a lot of people have in their browser, they're sitting on your computer, listening and reading every code you're typing in and every page you're reading, and essentially building up glossaries of coupon codes to use on sites. And that's why people love them, because when they go to a site to shop, they can easily launch a code in. Well, oftentimes that code wasn't meant to be leaked to the public. It might have been for a podcast, or it might have been for, VIP customers to get retention. And so a common challenge when you have affiliate programs is that you're basically incentivizing these companies to steal codes that weren't meant to be used, to give customers discounts, which is a direct hit to your profit margin, your EBITDA margin. And on top of that, you're giving them an affiliate commission for driving it. So it doesn't have incremental value. The whole point of the code was to get incremental sales, and now it's just being used and abused. And so when we started working with influencer creators, sometimes it wasn't their fault. Their codes that were in a YouTube description or an Instagram post would end up within 24 hours on the common coupon code sites. And especially back then, we used to give a commission. I mean, we still do with Snowball, but we give a commission based on sales driven by that code. So all of a sudden, we were paying wild amounts of money to creators when a lot of those sales were not driven by the creator. It was just someone else from an ad that clicked a coupon site. So it becomes really hard to attribute the incremental value. And with safe links, it allows it so that there's not codes that leak. People can see an offer, and when they click it, they see the code on a screen, which is, I think, on the back end, unique to them. And when they activate it, that code can't be reused on a platform. And so it really helps keep everyone honest, and particularly prevent these coupon sites from leeching and kind of gaining additional margin from us when they haven't driven value. So it's been super helpful. So now we don't have to worry about the thousands of creators that we're working with.
Yeah, that definitely saves a lot of money. So when you look at for both of you guys, when you look at your greater influencer strategy, there's obviously a lot of pieces to it. There's Instagram, YouTube, now TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is obviously a really hot topic right now. So I'm curious to both of you guys how you're incorporating and plan to continue incorporating TikTok Shop affiliate into your greater influencer strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like it's becoming more and more one and the same, right? I mean, we're inviting these creators to our events. We're putting them on our mailing lists. We're sending them bespoke gifts. But at the same time, there's like a certain finesse. Like I mentioned that call earlier, the content is very different. I think that hits on TikTok Shop. So it's really important to make sure that you understand what's resonating, what's not, and how to work with your creators on that channel to really coach them in the right way to help them kind of take off. So I think the content's very different. I will say too, TikTok Shop is really beyond the affiliate. It has a lot to do with like your ad spend. Are you doing lives? Are you posting your own shoppable content on your own TikTok feed? So it's interesting because it's almost like its own little ecosystem that requires you to do like 10, 15 different things that require different skill sets for different teams. So I think it's important not only to consider it as part of your influencer strategy, but it's also like one more step further. It's much more than just a partnership or whitelisting. It goes way, way beyond that. So I think it's really interesting to look at it from like a whole ecosystem perspective instead of just, your affiliate relationship.
Yeah, I would say I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok Shop, depending on the hour of the day. But in general, I think what's so cool is the scale of creators and the fact that, again, you don't have to have a bunch of followers to have content that can go viral. Some of the challenges we deal with, with the early success of our business, we started getting a lot of knockoffs and people ripping us off that we're, always seemingly in some sort of legal battle with. And the challenge with TikTok Shops is it can very easily, the creator could do a great job getting someone excited about a product, but because it's a very seemingly very discount and price sensitive platform, it's also a really easy place for that person to then get distracted onto something similar or cheaper or whatever it is. It also is challenging just to make sure that they're not, that they're following regulatory guidelines. So when you think of a lot of new creators coming in or your customers, they don't understand. It took me 2 years to understand in 1,000 legal calls what you can and can't say about a health or beauty product.
Yes.
And we as brands are entirely responsible for every word that they utter. So it's just a lot. The volume is exciting, but it's also a challenge to make sure that everyone's following guidelines and speaking positively about the brand. But I love the fact, especially now that you've launched this connection with TikTok Shop and the other affiliate program, the more traditional Snowball program. What I'm excited about is sometimes someone might produce an amazing video that because of the time of day or the hashtags they used or didn't use or the description, it didn't perform well on TikTok and it would do really well on another channel. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is to say hey, we might have met you through TikTok, we might have met you through Instagram and our own team, you might have found us through Snowball, but essentially here's all the different platforms you can show up in to either repurpose content, which I don't even know if you can still do that without getting in trouble, but at least make iterations of your content and give it more life. Because to us, anyone who's pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into content, we want to give them every possible option to benefit from that. And then especially we want to be able to whitelist it, so put ad spend behind it to really further boost the content that seems to be compelling and make sure it's getting in front of as many eyeballs as possible.
Yeah. Okay, and then maybe the most important question, obviously BFCM is coming up. The prep time is now. Everyone's thinking about it. And I think, you guys have both done a pretty good job in past years incorporating influencer and creator into your greater BFCM strategy. And I think a lot of people are worried about it clashing if you just don't line up the discounts right, or just there's so many moving pieces with BFCM. So I'm curious for this year, coming up, how are you guys planning to incorporate influencer and creator into your greater BFCM strategy?
Yeah, sure. Influencers and affiliates are getting early access to our sale mid-November before the brand goes public sale. We're gonna have some bespoke bundles that we're working with some creators on where they get to curate their own products as part of their bundle. We're also gonna do another one of those incentives that I mentioned that we did over the summer. So for our customers, incentivizing them to sell during the key season. And then probably the most different thing this year is we're doing a series of mega lives on TikTok Shop. We're going live for 6 hours a day with creators. So that's gonna be interesting and something that we've been dipping our toes into.
Have you guys been doing lives already? Or is
so when I was handed TikTok Shop, I never imagined I'd be a live host, but I help host the live. Yeah, I do, once a week.
Nice.
Tune in.
What's the time?
Thursdays at 12:30 Central. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I will not be doing all 6 hours, thank goodness I have help, but yeah.
That'd be brutal.
That'd be brutal.
Do you get to use your own affiliate code? Are you making commission on this?
Yeah, double dipping a little.
I don't know, you can call my boss.
I might have to. Look, if you're driving Rev, there's no reason for you not to pull that in.
Right?
We'll get you a code too, Shaq. You can jump in the live if you want.
Oh, dude, me on live TV is just a good time.
It's fun. It's been fun.
I'd say for us, it's usually the annual festival of my team hating me because we have to try so many different things with the whole ecosystem changing. So definitely this year, a big TikTok Shop component, a lot more creator influencer work, similar to you, having kind of exclusive offers for creators before we go live publicly. And I love the idea of personal bundles for different creators. I'm inspired by that. So maybe I'll add that to another reason the team hates me.
Sorry, team.
But I think just this year, especially advertising I feel like the digital advertising world has been completely rewritten over the last, especially the last year. And so with that comes using all these other channels and especially creators to really drive new audiences. Facebook for us has driven much less incremental new eyeballs, no matter what we tell it to do or what settings we put. And so for us, it's really leveraging influencers and affiliates and really going even harder this year on the whitelisting component, so that when we have signals of what's working, we can really put media spend behind it. Because with the right whitelisting, we often will see a 2 to 3x improvement on return on ad spend than on our own branded ads. So it's really just leveraging our community and getting the message out there about the promotion and sustaining that throughout November and then into December as well.
Are you guys boosting the commission rate for your influencers during that period? How are you making sure that because I'm sure these creators, they're getting hit up by a million brands to post during BFCM. How are you locking them in now?
Yeah, we're raising, at least our customers, they typically earn $10, so we're raising it to $20.
Okay.
When you look at CACs, it's not that bad. And then for our affiliates that earn a percentage commission, they'll earn 5% higher during that time period.
I don't have an answer for you, but I feel we probably, I'm not in charge of that decision, but I would say we probably are increasing both customer and affiliate commissions. And I think we're also working more closely with them to understand like how do we also control our own margin if we were to spend $1 million to advertise one single video like what happened last year. Just also being mindful that we're not continuing the same large commission that we would give someone strictly for organic views.
Yeah,
so I think it's kind of balancing out like when we pay for it, what do we pay, and then if it's just more traditional influencer affiliate, kind of what the fair commission is.
And Lauren, I think the giveaway that you did for the customer affiliates was like super interesting. The fact that it 4x'd the revenue in a month is insane. Are you going to do anything like that for?
Yeah, we haven't decided what the prize is, and in July it was so simple. It was literally a suitcase full of Divvy and a trip. So we haven't decided what the prize is yet, but we want to do something.
And is it just whoever refers the most revenue, or how is it like
Most
a leaderboard
revenue,
or like a second and third place prize?
I think like for November we have to kind of have like some other prizes, like most content posted, things like that. So definitely interested to see how it pans out.
Amazing. Yeah, we could open it up for questions, Shaq.
I'm going to open it up for questions, but I want to ask all three of you, what's your thoughts on AI creators? Is this, I'm so curious about this stuff because it's the opposite of going into building relation and building story to the customer. Yeah, everyone's like, but it's so cost effective, we have to do it. So I want to go down the line and I want your opinion on this too.
I think for ad creative, it's super interesting because you could spin up a ton of new creative like very affordably. I think as far as like attributable revenue from like an actual creator that has or AI creator that has their own social following, people buy from people, and that's the value of creator marketing, and that's why you would rather buy from a creator than an ad from Zuck. So I'm skeptical to see if like these actual AI creators that have 5 million followers are actually gonna be able to drive, you know, the same conversion that a real human being would. But I do think for creative, like for actually getting ad creative, it's a cost-effective way. It's definitely the future.
I would say the same thing about people shopping from humans. Like, I don't know if any of you have played around with these tools. I continue to on a weekly basis, and they're just so bizarre. Like, I made an AI of myself last night. It was terrifying, and couldn't even understand what I was saying. I looked like I was like heavily drugged, and so I can't imagine.
Oh, it was you, like your face.
That was like try number 7.
We should have gotten that ready to pull up on the screen.
Thank God it's not here. But basically, I think we're probably a year away from it really working. But I think to your point, people buy from people, especially what we see is people buy when there's like an authentic, real story. I'm sure in the near future, you'll be able to have an AI tell a very real seeming story that was fabricated by a marketer. But I think there's so much value untapped today in real people. And I think that's really what's exciting about Social Snowball. Is really leveraging real people, of which, you know, I would say if you don't have customers, that's a great place to start. If you don't have customers and don't have a budget, use an AI tool, start there. But if you have real customers and they have exciting stories to tell, like I would invest your time there instead of, you know, trying to make a bot work.
Yeah, I second that. Again, I think our products are super, super personal, and when people share their own before and afters or say, hey, like this got me through postpartum, or this really gave me confidence back, and you know, when I was going through menopause or chemo or whatever it was, I think people really want to see that and hear that from like a real authentic human being. Those are the kinds of stories that are just hard to digest from an AI creator.
I think it also would be terrible for the brand if people found out that you were making up
100%.
Fabricating chemo stories with an AI.
100%.
I feel like that could be
Dude,
a downturn.
Once the affiliates
fake before and afters, I shudder at the thought. Yeah.
Once the OG affiliates get a hold of this thing, it's over.
Game over. Game over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be selling all sorts of shenanigans. Question right here, ma'am. Tap it.
Okay, it's 2 questions. The first one is, beauty just kills it on TikTok. And it seems like other industries, it's like, oh no, we totally knock it out of the park. And it's like, are you beauty? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, like other industries, are there a lot of other industries killing it on TikTok shops? Or is it really beauty or fashion? I mean, we really tried hard. We did affiliate like through the platform.
What's your space?
Pet, lots of bull penis. Anyone?
That.
Dogs love it.
Into it.
I mean, you have yours.
We buy tons of bull penises.
Yeah. I mean, don't go for North American. South American's where it's at. But
that's where I went wrong.
are there any, I mean, is it like any industry can kill it? I know TikTok has been trying to push other industries, but it just seems like a lot of effort for a lot of falling on your face. Have you guys seen it?
I mean,
like Social Snowball, maybe?
I've seen a lot of food and beverage brands kill it. I've seen a ton of health and wellness. Pet, I want to say I have, but none are coming to the top of my mind. I feel like it would work though, because it's very easy to film a video of your dog.
It
and
is.
you know that people love those videos. And if it's with a cool product that they're engaging with, or if it's a wellness product for pets, which is now like a huge category, you know, I think it would do similar. I don't know. Does the Social Snowman know any examples that maybe I'm not thinking of? He talks to a lot of brands.
He loves bully.
How did he make you do this? Not if you are in trouble, my friend.
Blink twice.
No, there's one called it's actually for cat piss and cat urine. Pagagan, Pagan. I'll link you to these two people.
Okay.
They run basically it's like to get rid of the odor that's makes the owner no longer have like allergies towards the things that cats do. I don't know. I'm not a cat person, obviously, but I can link you to because they are doing pretty decent numbers on that. And then there's another company called Dog Sauce that's just starting to launch.
Yeah.
It's dog sauce topper that they put it on their food. So those are two.
It's
other
like a
spaces.
gravy.
It is like a gravy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I just ask one more?
Yes, of course.
One more is how do you get, because where we're at, we have organic social and we have paid social. So if you're talking to customers, how do you merge those two, or like who is in the DMs of the channels so that you can find the customers? Because our organic person is not going to be thinking like we should bring this person on as a paid affiliate. You know, we'll have ambassadors or whatever. But so how are the departments structured where you have the proper person in the DMs? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say we've had the same challenge for a while, and Nectar, which I mentioned earlier, it's Get Nectar. They have an amazing tool that basically allows you to start using links, your own branded links in your DMs, but helps create the creators that are also customers and helps you better also track the revenue through it. But through that, we've been able to better tie the two together. And through their platform, you can also assign this type of person, this team should talk to versus that team.
Oh, so it's like a CRM kind
It's basically like Klaviyo, but for your DMs on social, because that's always been a huge challenge for us, is really understanding who's a customer, who's a prospective customer, who's a celebrity. I wrote to a celebrity once by accident, not realizing who it was. I was like, they asked for a free case for their product, and I told them to buy it.
Absolutely not.
I know, and I was like, oh shoot, it was actually one of my favorite musicians. So the point is, this tool helps you bucket, who are the VIPs, who are the customers, who are the repeat customers, and really help figure out who should handle what part of the DMs. And then the tricky part is, especially I was mentioning whitelisting, is like helping customers understand what that really means if you're trying to put paid spend behind their content.
Right.
Because that's usually a newer concept. So we have a lot of materials that explain it, so it doesn't scare them, but actually helps them understand like how it works.
Yeah, because social just now, there's so many people in the one space, and it's like, this needs to go there, that needs to go there. Okay, thank you very much.
Really good questions. Go ahead, throw it to the snowman.
Yeah, I'll let you
Snowman
speak.
doesn't speak.
All right, Snowman doesn't speak. Okay, cool. So one question I have, so obviously Safe Links is awesome. We dealt with code leakage for a really long time, and it's made my job way easier. There's obviously limitations with it, which is not all creators want to include your link in their, let's just say like link to bio or whatever their short links are in their bio. How are you measuring that non-affiliate awareness? Are you formulating some sort of EMV, or are you just measuring CPMs? How are you tracking that outside of just affiliate revenue?
Are you saying specifically, was that to either one of us?
Either of you.
Yeah, I mean, we just started tracking EMV like recently as a brand, just looking for directional like increases month over month as we start seeding more and doing more things like that. So we definitely look at that. I would say obviously it's not the most like direct metric there ever was. And we'll look at CPMs every once in a while for like our targeted seeding campaigns, but mostly EMV.
Yeah, I'd say for us, we're more tracking. I just don't really know how to really weigh in on EMV, and so we look more at just overall brand awareness, how it's tracking month over month, how to some degree that correlates with the validated eyeballs from our paid spend, and then you can look kind of at the metrics of organic and try to make sense of what's really contributing. But I would say it's more looking overall at kind of traffic trends and branded search trends, which is a challenge both with Snowball and outside of it. Is we know, for instance, so much of our Amazon sales are driven by people that see an ad, don't click it, and search it on Amazon.
In the front.
Hello, I'm John from Tandem Surf, and I'm excited to share that Tandem Surf, which is a Shark Tank water sports brand, has now partnered with Margaritaville with over 20 million visitors.
Wow.
They call themselves Parrot Heads. That's big. 4 years in, and because of our Shark Tank update, the president of Margaritaville reached out.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yes, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. You understand the impact that makes on our small family brand.
100%.
So now that we're partnering with Margaritaville with 20 million Parrot Head visitors, how can we leverage this co-branded product opportunity along with the right tech and the right content in order to maximize this incredible licensing opportunity? Tandem Surf and Margaritaville.
Well, congrats, first of all. I think the low-hanging fruit would be this influx of customers. You're getting customers from a new channel now. They could be powerful affiliates for you. And so if you're turning those into affiliates post-purchase and maybe you're tailoring the message a little bit more to the Margaritaville demographic, they probably want to hear something different like Andrew was talking about. Some customers, it's more about sharing their story. It's more about margaritas. So maybe if you tailor it more to them and have a smooth post-purchase flow for enrolling those customers into your affiliate program, integrating that with your email, and just having it be so that all of your customers know to share, they have a link to share, I think that could go a long way.
Are they buying online or are they also buying at resorts?
So that's a great question. So it is all through all different channels. They have over 65 locations, resorts, retail locations, and online. So for example, with some other co-branded opportunities they've done, with Crocs, for example, in 24 hours, the Crocs Margaritaville shoe did over $5 million in 24 hours.
Oh my God, I'm in the wrong business. I would say for you, if they're buying in store, what about also activating them right there? They get their products, there's a little explainer of the program, get them their link right then and there while they're hot, and get them to like sip a margarita, give them a free margarita. If they shoot a video with their purchase and talk about it, give them their link.
That's sick.
Get their email. Because once those margaritas wear off, they may forget about the purchase or what it meant to them at the time. But I think like we've learned, the sooner you at the right time, where especially when you have that one-to-one relationship, that's when you can really get them excited about doing something, especially customers that they're not used to doing, which is creating content for marketing purposes.
Yeah, because they'll be taking our products into the pool, out into the ocean. So it's paddle boards, it's water saddles,
Right.
it's sit and sip products. Do you put any kind of insert in the box?
We've done that for Amazon as of recent, and we are working on something for our D2C site. But yeah, I think putting it in the packaging is super smart. But I think based on everything you just said, I'm just thinking also a lot of times creators struggle or hold off on producing content because they're like waiting for the perfect moment that their house is clean, they're not breaking out, they're having a good day, blah, blah, blah. If they're on vacation at Margaritaville, 3 margaritas deep, and just bought your product, this is the time.
The time is now.
And
This is
that
the
content's
time.
probably gonna be so good.
So we
What was that?
can
The
actually,
content's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
Super
exactly.
can we activate them that quickly they can become a customer and then an affiliate like that?
I think it could also just be, instead of raving about the product, it could just be like why they just bought it and their excitement. They're at Margaritaville, this is why they bought it, and like share that excitement with others and let others that are at home on TikTok feel like they could get an ounce of the Margaritaville vibe wherever they are on their couch from afar.
Got it. Thank you, guys. Anything else?
Yeah, no, I love all that. I think you could even kind of hit them up with an email or two after the fact and say like, hey, like, here's a voucher for X, Y, and Z. Thanks for, joining us at Margaritaville. Looking forward for your next video kind of thing.
So maybe even having our own community of Tandem Margaritaville users and so forth that sign up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want that. Give me that. Oh, let's go.
Oh God.
Hey guys, Jean. So everyone's talking about like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and that's really the focus. I found building out programs that you start nurturing them now for sales in January so that you can start off of January really strong. So do either of you guys already have strategies in place of how you're nurturing your affiliates to like really get a really strong start of the year in 2025?
Yeah, we have a couple things happening in October. I mentioned earlier we were doing a bunch of lives for Black Friday, but we're having our first one on October 7th that coincides with TikTok Shop's Deals for You days. So we're flying in like 3 of the major affiliates from LA. We're gonna do a 6-hour live in our home office with our influencer founder. So we're really excited to try that as like a first start to warm up for the rest of the season.
I think for us, we're still creating new programs for affiliates, and there's so much to now apply to the Black Friday period to test. But essentially for the new year, we have 4 of our most important products launching next month, it naturally takes time to get the information out and to really nurture the relationship there. So we're kind of holding off on introducing it to them then, but then really creating more contests and giveaways to incentivize more excitement and more content creation through January.
All right, I got one for Noah. Do you see like any, is there an average AOV with brands that just hit better with influencers? Like, is there a threshold that's like, hey, brands that are selling an AOV under this much just has better performance? Brands that are between here and here is the best, and then brands that are above this just doesn't really work? Like,
I wouldn't say there's a sweet spot. I would say the rule is the higher the AOV, usually the better, for the only reason that you could offer a more generous commission. And that really moves the needle. So we have a lot of higher ticket brands, like for example, like high ticket health and wellness. We work with like plunge.com and the pod company, like these ice baths. They can offer like a $100, $200 CPA payout because it's like a $2,000 AOV, for some of these brands. So obviously every influencer is gonna be super motivated for that, and every customer is gonna change their life if they refer a few friends. Like, it's super meaningful. So that being said, lower AOV brands still do well. It's just like, I think the mistake they make is they offer too low of a commission. And what I always recommend a brand does is benchmark their commission to their paid ads CAC target. So like, if a brand is like a $30 AOV, but they have to pay $30 on Meta to get that customer and that works for them, like, they shouldn't be offering a $5 commission. They should be maybe not 30, but maybe if their goal is more like in the 25 to 20 range, then offer that. And then it's still gonna do good things to your blended CAC overall. It's still bringing the overall numbers down, but it's not so low enough of a commission that nobody's really incentivized.
right on. Cool. And then for Lauren and Andrew, do you guys see, I think Andrew mentioned something about House. Like, do you see your paid acquisition CPMs drop as you like scale your influencer program? And how are you measuring that? And then also the second thing is, for both of you guys, do you generally see a higher AOV with the influencers' orders?
I'd say on mine, we're doing more. So I guess the first part about your question to him was around AOV and whether that's like, there's kind of a sweet spot. And I think a critical thing that we're still testing and learning more about is where's like really figure out ways to drive urgency, because we have a higher AOV, we're a higher AOV business where AOV is about $140, $150. It's really hard for people to impulsively spend. And that's where, testing offers with them or exclusive bundles for a limited period of time can create the urgency to convert people. And so I think that just because you have high AOV doesn't mean that inherently will mean it's harder to convert. To your other question, I'd say it's easier for us to track certain whitelisting performing considerably better if we trust in platform data or triple whale, and unfortunately we trust neither. But if we triangulate between the two, we can generally track that on a per influencer creative basis. I would say we've been doing more analyses looking back, and it does feel like it does seem to show that the periods of time where we've done tons of seeding, like 1,000 to 1,500 influencers in a given month, tends to have a halo effect for the next 30 or so days in terms of lowering CPMs, and probably because of it kind of signaling in new audiences to bring in. The one thing I'll qualify though is with the ads that we're whitelisting, there seems to be a much shorter lifespan where you get that better ROAS or CPM. So it's what seems to be happening is you're benefiting from the audience they have and maybe like the immediate lookalikes, and then it fatigues really quickly. So another brand that we've got some notes on recently, they were saying they're just cycling through creators and whitelisting it to kind of keep beefing up the audiences, so you're sending more signals to Facebook. So I definitely have confidence it's helping. It's hard to say that like what the quantity needs to be to sustain that improvement.
Yeah, I'd say on the AOV note, we're a little bit lower. So like typically around 65. If we do a specific bundle, we'll get closer to like 100. On TikTok Shop, I will say though, it's closer to 50. We find the lower price bundles, obviously the customer there is just like a little bit more price sensitive. But for the most part, outside of TikTok Shop, that's pretty much in line with like our normal D2C AOV, which is nice to see. In terms of tracking performance, like I feel like it's like you, it's all over the place, right, to be honest. I do think that we've really started ramping up seeding in the past 3 months when we do tracking and we've been able to see that directional increase. I'm interested to see what happens like 3 months from now if we do see our CPM start to decrease. From a waitlisted perspective, we typically have the most success with our founder content. She's an influencer and her content by far and away gets the most scale, the most spend, highest ROAS, best metrics. We're trying to find ways to diversify, but definitely there's like something really special about our founder story and her content time and time again.
Noah, Lauren, and Andrew, Thank you guys for joining us today. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.